Your loved ones haven't left you. They're just waiting for you. Losing someone you love can feel final. But what if the bond isn't truly severed? What if you can still reach them? Even beyond this world, there's a way to stay connected, a link that death was never meant to break. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there was a young man named Bishr ibn al-Bara from Banu Salama. And he passed away, leaving his mother extremely distraught. So she comes to the Prophet ﷺ and she says, Ya Rasulullah, those of Banu Salama who continue to die, can I send greetings to my son Bishr with them? And the Prophet ﷺ responded and said, yes, I swear by he in whose hand is my soul, Ya Bishr. The deceased know one another like birds upon a branch. And after that, no one would die from Banu Salama except that Bishr would go try to catch them quickly before they die and would say, Iqra ala Bishrin as-salam. Convey my salam to my son Bishr. I always tell people who lose their loved ones, think of yourselves merely at a station, and your loved one has gone one station ahead. They just don't have phone service, so you can't call them, but they're waiting for you, inshallah. And you do actually still have some form of connection to them. They still celebrate your accomplishments when it reaches them, especially when they're accomplishments of the deen. And yes, they're still wondering who got married. Abu Ayyub radiallahu ta'ala anhu said that when the soul of a believer is taken, the other believers rush to him to say, what happened to so-and-so? What happened to so-and-so? Hal tazawwaja fulan? Did so-and-so get married yet? And they're not just waiting to hear your news there. They're still enjoying your visits here. Al-Fadl ibn Muwaffaq, rahimahullah, who actually was the cousin of Sufyan ibn Uyayna, rahimahullah, he said that when my father died, I became extremely sad. And I used to visit his grave every day, but then as time went on, I started going less frequently. Then one day, I went to sleep after sitting at his grave. And I had a dream in which I saw my father's grave split open. And it appeared as though he was sitting alone in his grave, wrapped in his shroud, showing the signs of the dead. So I began to weep when I saw him. And he said, Ya bunayya, ma abta'a bika anni, my son, why have you stopped coming to see me? So I replied, you know when I visit you? And he said, I know every single time you visit me. And when you used to visit me frequently, I would be comforted by your presence and I would be delighted by it. And he said, even my neighbors in the graveyard would feel joy because of your dua. And even if you can't visit, your du'as and your deeds for your loved ones are far greater than any gifts you could have given them in this life. You were given life in the womb of your mother, and now you can give life to her grave with your dua. It may be that your father once furnished your home here, and now you can furnish his home there with deeds on his behalf. And just as your parents used to spend everything on you, now you can spend on them too. And if they could speak to you, that's all they would ask for. Aisha radiallahu anha says that a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, my mother passed away. And I believe that if she could still speak, she would give charity. So can I do so on her behalf? And the Prophet ﷺ said, of course. And this isn't just for your parents, but for all of your loved ones. And as we think about what makes the next station comforting, it's not just knowing that they're waiting ahead of us, but hopefully they would have received the gifts that we sent before we even got there. And for the one who had no believing family waiting at that station, you will still have the best of the family that you chose in their place. The Prophet ﷺ and his Sahaba, who are now your new family. Which, by the way, do we get new family in the barzakh? One of the du'as that we make for the deceased is, وَأَبْدِلْهُ دَارًا خَيْرًا مِنْ دَارِي وَأَهْلًا خَيْرًا مِنْ أَهْلِي وَزَوْجًا خَيْرًا مِنْ زَوْجِهِ. Replace him with a home better than his home, with a family better than his family, and with a mate better than his mate. Mullah Ali Qari rahimahullah says that family here means that these are the unique companions of the barzakh. Other scholars said that this isn't a replacement of the individuals, but a replacement of any tensions or bad character that remains back in this dunya. So basically, a family reunion without all the family drama that consumes so much of our joy in this life. And other scholars say it's all the old and new family that we expect in our new homes in Jannah bi'idhnillah. In any case, your relationship with those you love doesn't end with their departure from this world. Every dua, every act of charity, every moment that you dedicate to their memory is a lifeline that transcends the grave. You can still be their light, their support, and their connection to what's coming next. But whether it's your parents, your ancestors, your children and siblings, or your friends, we all look forward to reuniting with those whom we loved in this dunya, even if we didn't get to live with them.